Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Deep Rock Galactic. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Zero. Let's get to it. Today we're doing the deep dive codenamed Hideous Claw. But before we get to that, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. So let's get into it. Stage 1, the deep dive has Exploder Infestation, with you taking on 1 Dreadnought and 2 Mini-Mules. Mini-Mules will beep at you and also pulse green light, so you may see or hear them. Once you scan them, then you can find the missing legs on the terrain scanner, which will make it a little bit easier to find them. They do glow and pulse slightly, but very faintly. Now, don't forget about the swarms of enemies that are going to be coming at you. And don't forget about the exploders. Those are going to be spawning every couple of minutes to harass you throughout the level. So make sure that you keep your eyes open for those guys. And, of course, we have the Dreadnought that you have to deal with. So the Dreadnought cocoon is on the terrain scanner, so you can find it there. Also, you look for that organic matter and look for the center of it, and then that's where the cocoon will be. Pop it open and then start taking on the Dreadnought. There are a variety of different types of Dreadnoughts. They all have their own slightly different strategy, but they are basically the boss creatures of Deep Rock Galactic. And this time around we got the Hive Guard, which is immune until you take out all the Sentinels. Then it's shielded by what I can only say are antennae that are sticking out. Once you go ahead and take care of all 3 antennae, then you're on to the damage phase. Go ahead and DPS the heck out of that thing until you take them out. Once you have the Dreadnought taken care of and both Mini-Mules revived and ready to go, then you're ready to progress into the rest of the full salvage mission. So make your defense however you want. With the uplink is basically a zone control. You just have to be within the bubble. More people are in the bubble, the faster it'll go. The fewer people, the slower it'll go. And if nobody's in there, it'll start going backwards. If it goes down to 0%, then you failed. Once you get up to 100%, then you passed. You're going to want to defend the area against any and all enemies, bug and otherwise. So go ahead and take them out however you can. Not because if they get into the zone that they will stop the progression, but they're going to try and stop you. So it's best to go ahead and take them out, and then you won't have to worry about them. Now once you get up to 100%, then you're ready to move on to the next phase of the salvage mission, which is the fuel cells. So once you get up to 100%, it'll be a few seconds, and then the fuel cells will start coming in. There'll be a marker on the ground wherever they're going to drop, so just look for that flashing green light. And then all you have to do is hook it up to the drop pod to recharge the drop pod system. Now, much like the uplink, you're going to have to do the exact same thing. You're going to have to bring the fuel cells back online and, of course, defend the area once again. And don't forget about those exploders. They're still going to be coming after you on a regular basis. So depending on what your profession is, will determine what type of defense that you can do. If you're a driller, you can dig a tunnel underneath and still remain within the circle. Engineers can put up a eaves that the bugs will have to crawl over in order to get to you. It'll take them a little bit longer, and it'll be like a little bit easier to take care of them and see them. You'll have a little bit more time. Gunners, of course, they can put up a shield that'll push everyone that is an enemy outside of the shield. And then the scouts can light up the area to make the enemies easier to see. Now this is a good time to point out that the deep dive is a raid-like environment. 3 stages with you and Bosco, or with up to 3 other players, either match-made or pre-made, and that is entirely up to you. Now once you have both of those things done, both the uplink and the fuel cells, you'll still have to wait a minute and a half, that's a full 90 seconds before the drop pod opens up and you can get out. So there's a startup sequence, you have to wait for it. Once you get down to, 10 seconds, whatever, then you can get on. Once it opens up, though, it'll only stick around for about a minute before it takes off. So make sure that you're ready to go as soon as it comes back up. So if you want to look for any minerals before you go, it's best to do so early on in the countdown, so that you still have plenty of time to get back to the drop pod before it leaves you behind. And of course, the more dwarves that make it from one stage to the next, the better the compensation you'll get at the end of the deep dive. So that's it for stage number 1. We're already a third of the way done with this deep dive, going on to stage number 2. Alright, stage number 2 of the deep dive has you escorting a drill dozer as well as mining morkite. So crystallized morkite, plus you have elite threats. While you're looking for the morkite, also make sure that you're looking for any gold and nitra, as well as you would have been doing in the previous stage, hopefully. Gold, of course, will give you more credits at the end of the deep dive, and then of course nitra will help you stay flush with your ammo and grenades and all that good stuff, including your health. So make sure you have plenty of nitra to get through the deep dive, which means you're going to be looking for nitra at all points in time. Now elite enemies will randomly pop up throughout the mission. It'll be a random bug that'll show up, but it'll be elite. It'll say that. It'll have kind of red around it, and it will be faster. It'll have more health, and it will do more damage. So prioritize those guys. Make sure that you take them out. Now at some point, the drill dozer is going to run out of fuel, and you'll have to take the canisters and get some oil shale. So find the oil shale that's around. Hopefully it's not too far away, and just go ahead and suck it up into the canister. You'll see the progress both on the right hand side, plus right in the middle of the canister. It'll show how full it is. Once it gets completely full, which will probably be 2 spots, you'll probably have to take 2 oil shale spots, and then just plug it back into the back of the drill dozer, and then you'll be ready to go once both of those canisters are ready and full. Now don't forget to maintain and repair Doretta if she takes any damage. You'll see it on the gauge on the right hand side. Make your way to the armor and heartstone, and of course prioritize those elite threats. Now before you start, it might be a good idea to call in a resupply pod so that you don't run out of ammo in the middle and have to wait that 30 seconds for resupply to show up, which will make a big difference if it's ready to go, because you still need about 5 seconds to resupply from the resupply pod. Now each phase of the Amaran Heartstone drilling will be more terrifying than the last. Once you get all 4 done and you have at least one of the 3 segments of Doretta still healthy and alive, then you've succeeded, and you'll get to see the Amaran Heartstone. coveted by the company, of course. Then all you need to do is call over the mule, put the heartstone on the back of the mule, call in the drop pod, and make your way out. Now when you crack the heartstone, there is a shockwave that takes care of most of the enemies in the area. And don't forget Doretta. She got you this far. It'd be only fair for you to take her back and get onto the drop pod. So make your way over to the drop pod, and don't forget your gold and nitra that you're keeping your eyes out open for. Maybe you missed it on the way out. Going to the heartstone, so don't forget to get it before you leave, if possible. It can be a little bit frantic getting out because you're going to have waves of enemies coming at you. Now, one of the important things to remember about the deep dive is that everything carries over from one stage to the next. That includes your ammo and grenades, traversal tools, as well as your health, your nitra, gold. In addition, anything that you have in your pockets. So if you have gold and nitra that it got a little bit too hairy with the enemies, and you just wanted to get on the drop pod, it'll still be there in the next stage of the deep dive, so you'll be able to drop them into the drop pod or the mule or whatever you happen to have in the next stage. Now on some of the stages, the drop pod ends up being either much higher or possibly much lower than where you are at, and it can make it a little bit difficult unless you are a scout who can grapple up to anywhere or down to anywhere without too much trouble. So make your way to the drop pod however you can. Take care of enemies if at all possible, and when you have to, of course, knowing that everything carries over, you'll not want to use your ammo trying to get to the drop pod if at all possible. So use your ammo sparingly, but don't make it more difficult for yourself where you might end up going down. Alright, and that is the end of stage 2. We're already halfway done, over halfway, on to the third and final stage of the deep dive. Alright, stage 3, the deep dive, has you refining liquid morkite. So you'll need to find 3 sites of liquid morkite. And in addition, you also have 1 dreadnought to take care of. Now, liquid morkite, you'll see, it'll have plumes of smoke and then flashes of fire. Call in a pump jack. And then once you do that, you'll need to connect the rig to the pump jack. Now, do remember that because this is a liquid morkite or refining mission, there is no mule. You'll have to mule yourself and whatever you have in your bag over to the rig. Now, it will make it easier once you have the pipelines connected to the pump jacks, and then you can ride those around the level. So you find it, request a pump jack. It'll take about 30 seconds for it to pop in. So don't be underneath it when it comes in, obviously. And don't forget about that dreadnought. You won't be able to finish without finishing off that dreadnought. So unlike normal stages, you have 2 mandatory instead of 1 mandatory and 1 optional objective. So once again, we got the Hive Guard, the boss-like creature of DRG, where it has invulnerable stage, shielded stage, and damage stage or phase. And then when you get to the damage phase, you want to do as much damage as quickly as possible before it goes back into being invulnerable again. So you can actually save a little bit of ammo by taking out the dreadnought as quickly as you possibly can. And there we go, dreadnought's down. Now all we have to do is deal with refining the liquid morkite. So unfortunately, the liquid morkite sites do not show up on the train scanner unless someone has already found it, which is, it doesn't make a lot of, it doesn't help you if you've already found it. All right, so once you get the framework up, then it's time to build the pipeline out from the rig over to the pump jack. And you'll need to do that for all 3 of the sites. Now during this time you could have waves of swarms coming at you. You will have notification of it, and this stage also has volatile guts. Now volatile guts means it's a double-edged sword. When you take out one of the enemy bugs, they will explode on death, damaging whoever's around them, whether it is friend or foe. So if there's another bug close by, then great, they're going to damage their bug pals. If they're close to you, they're going to damage you. So make sure that you keep your distance away from the bugs, especially when you take them out, unless you can't avoid it. If you've got a bunch of them that are close to you, then you're in trouble. Once you have all 3 of them done and the dreadnought, you can start up the machine and start refining. You start pumping that liquid morkite. At some point, the pipes are going to start leaking. So then you have to find the pipelines that are flashing red and then look for the leaks. They'll be very easy to find. There'll be this bright red light, and then of course you have morkite, liquid morkite going all over the place. Once you have everything repaired, all the leaks repaired, then you're ready to go and start progressing again. You'll see that percentage on the right hand side go up more, but you have to have everything repaired before it will begin again. And then you just wait, take out the bugs, and then send that rig up into orbit. You'll have to wait about 30 seconds for the drop pod to show up, but then just make a beeline for it and get out. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.
Excellent work, miners. All liquid morkite has been processed and the cargo rocket is fully loaded. All systems are go, just press the launch button.
Let's have a look.
Good work. All objectives completed. Drop pod can be called via the mule. All objectives completed. You're ready to start the pump sequence. Well done. Cargo rocket is returning to orbit. We're sending in the drop pod to get you out. Hang tight.
Don't get too attached now. I ordered a resupply.
Supply pod requisitioned. Launching now.
Sticky grenade! When resupplying, remember to share with your teammates.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 3 minutes.
Bug Trap 2.0. Ready to kill some more crabs. Feeling much better. Getting more ammo. always slap the dice for good luck. I made a platform. One down! Resupply ordered!
Supplies are on the way.
One platform, ready to use. I ordered a resupply!
Supply drop has been ordered and is on the way.
Time to
Drop pod
resupply!
departing in T-minus 2 minutes. That's one for the books. Retrieving escape pod.
Resupply arrived, go restock!
Rock
That's
me
it,
like
lads!
a stone.
Rock and stone!
PlayStation